Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is our favorite time of the month, at least it's one of my favorite times of the month, where Criterion has announced the titles that will be joining the collection or be getting upgrades in June of 2026. What I do in this video is I just run through all of the new announcements. The email was just sent out. It's up on their page, up on their website, and all of it will be linked down below. But I'm just going to be giving my sort of feedback and my thoughts on what they're announcing and what will be coming to the Criterion Collection in June of 2026. So without further ado, let's hop on over to my screen here. You can see what's over here. Not really sure who this is. Kind of looks like Dean Cain. I don't think it is Dean Cain. I'm not sure who that is. Someone in the comments, let me know who that is. So as you can see down at the bottom, you cannot see the films because I'm going to sort of be revealing them to you one by one. I think that this is more of a fun way to do it. So let's get started with our first one, which is actually more than one film. It is from the Eclipse series number 6, Carlos Saura's Flamenco trilogy. I don't know anything about this. I don't know who Carlos Saura is. So we're going to read this little blurb here, and then we'll talk about the 3 films that are in this Eclipse series. So this is a Blu-ray only release from the Eclipse series that Criterion has been recently putting back out there. And let's just read this little blurb here. One of Spanish cinema's great auteurs, Carlos Saura, brought international audiences closer to the art of his country's dance than any other filmmaker before or since. In his flamenco trilogy, Blood Wedding, Carmen, and El Amor Brujo, Saura emerged his passion for music with his exploration of national identity. All starring and choreographed by legendary dancer Antonio Gades, the film features thrilling physicality and electrifying cinematography and editing, colorful paeans to bodies in motion as well as to cinema itself. So each of these films is going to have their own sort of individual thing here. I don't know that I'm going to go through and read all of these just for the sake of time, but you could check them out at the link. But flamenco dancing is something that I've seen obviously in movies before, and I know of it. I know it by name only, but this is so crazy that I didn't know that there was a filmmaker that basically was bringing this the art of this country's dance to the forefront in his films, and I would love to watch these. I mean, I love like a musical. I love a thrilling physicality and electrifying cinematography, and the choreography, I'm assuming, is going to be incredible as well. So the 3 films are Blood Wedding, Carmen, and El Amor Brujo. It doesn't list the special features down here. I'm wondering if there are any, but it does say there's an essay by author and film critic Michael Koreski. And again, this is a Blu-ray only release, which you could pre-order right now. Let's take a look at some of the stills from this Eclipse series. Yeah, I mean, it looks very colorful and vibrant, and oh, I like this. I love the purple. Yeah, this is awesome. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about Carlos Saura, but I definitely want to be checking this out. Let's see what else is coming to the collection. All right, so after Carlos Saura's Flamenco trilogy, we have a recent release from 2025. This was announced a while ago that it was eventually going to be coming. I didn't really think it was going to happen this quickly. I think a lot of us maybe had some other ideas for what was going to be coming out for June of 2026. A lot of people were predicting that K-pop Demon Hunters was going to get its release due to it just winning some Academy Awards yesterday. But it is Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident. So this is a film that I have not seen yet. I really, really, really meant to have time to watch it before the Oscars, and I never got to it, unfortunately. This film was nominated for Best International Feature. I heard a lot of people saying that this film should have been nominated for more awards at the Academy Awards, but it got a great reception. A lot of people were talking about this all throughout 2025, and it truly was one of those films that I wish I had a chance to see, and I'm probably going to make a point to watch very, very soon. So if you don't know anything about this film, let's read about it. In this Palme d'Or winner from the Iranian auteur Jafar Panahi, a chance encounter sets in motion an urgent moral thriller when a stranded driver walks into his shop. Mechanic Vahid believes he has come face to face with Egbal, a notoriously brutal guard who tortured him during his political imprisonment. Gathering a band of fellow former inmates and other allies, Vahid sets out to take justice into his own hands, but does he have the right man? Shot in secret after Panahi's longtime ban from filmmaking in his own country, It Was Just an Accident is a tour de force of sustained tension and mordant humor, provocatively shifting perspectives to examine vital questions of trauma and revenge. I love the sound of this. And yeah, if you don't know the whole history of Jafar Panahi's role as a filmmaker in Iran and him being banned as a filmmaker in many of his films, being banned in the country, this film um, had to be selected, had to be acquired in France and submitted from France into the Academy Awards. I saw some people confused. They were like, why is this film submitted by France? Why is it saying it's a French film when it's clearly an Iranian film? And that's just because Jafar Panahi is not supposed to be making films in Iran, according to the government. And, there's a whole political thing that we could be talking about, but this isn't the time for it. Let's look at some of these special features. You get a 4K and Blu-ray of this, as well as you could just do a Blu-ray or a DVD. But in the 4K Blu-ray Special Edition, we get new digital master approved by Jafar Panahi, and you get a new conversation between Panahi and filmmaker Ramin Barani. I don't know that filmmaker, but I'll have to look into that filmmaker. You also get the Cannes Film Festival press conference. I mean, this movie made quite a splash. Obviously, it won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. You get the press conference from 2025 featuring Panahi and members of the cast and crew. You get a trailer and new English subtitle translation. And I really love this cover art here. For some reason, it's really just doing it for me. I don't know what's going on with this. It looks like a wedding dress. Someone's in a wedding dress. They're pushing a van. I don't know, but it's definitely colored me intrigued is all I'll say. Let's look at some of the stills. I've been seeing quite a bit of this film throughout the year. As someone who sort of follows the year in cinema, you ultimately see a lot of this stuff from the films coming out. So yeah, a lot of this looks familiar to me, but I haven't seen the film, and I've heard from people that it is darkly comedic, but also this idea of the sustained tension is definitely has me intrigued. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to be checking out It Was Just an Accident pretty soon, probably before June, and then I'll consider picking this up when it becomes available. All right, up next, again, I can see what's coming next, but you can't see what's coming next. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know how excited I am about this, and we'll get into that in a second. We have two films. The next two films are from the same filmmaker, and it's from a filmmaker that a lot of people love, that I personally just don't have that connection to, don't really have that love for. We're going to start with the film Desperate Living from John Waters. So that should hopefully be maybe a clue for the next film that's coming up. It is also a John Waters film, but for now we're talking about Desperate Living. Yeah, my relationship with John Waters is pretty limited. I saw the film he did with Edward Furlong and Christina Ricci. The name is escaping me for some reason. I need to look it up. Edward Furlong movie. Pecker. That's right. It was called Pecker. That is the name of the film. I saw Pecker last year, maybe the year before, and kind of was not blown away. Wasn't really vibing with the John Waters thing. Didn't really find it funny. But he's a beloved filmmaker for a lot of people. He's a provocateur, and people love that. I don't know anything about Desperate Living. This fucking cover art is, I don't know what to think of it. I don't know how it relates to the film. So why don't we find out? Let's read this little blurb here. Following the unrepentant outrageousness of Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble, director John Waters brought his notorious trash trilogy to a fittingly twisted close with his anti-fascist fairy tale. After hysterical housewife Peggy Gravel murders her husband with the help of her fed-up housekeeper, the newfound sisters in crime escape to the bizarro shanty town of Mortville, a depraved penal colony presided over by a despotic queen whose tyranny pushes her subjects to shocking revolt. Deviant cops, death by dog food, DIY surgery. Waters unleashes all this and more in an at once relentlessly warped and oddly moral vision of queer rebellion. Okay, I mean, that kind of tells you what to expect, at least from a narrative level, from a story and plot level, but I don't really know that I'm understanding what any of this really means. Depraved penal colony presided over by a despotic queen? What What is that? I don't know what that means. But I mean, the thing about John Waters is that this does sound somewhat appealing. It does sound it definitely piques your interest when you hear some of these things. Why don't we just look at what is arriving with this 4K Blu-ray in this special edition? What kind of features could we expect to see? We get a 4K restoration approved by John Waters himself. We get audio commentary featuring Waters and actor Liz Renee. We get optional Italian dub track. We get a new conversation between Waters and a film programmer. Back to Mortville, a tour of the film's main Baltimore location led by John Waters. New interview with actors Susan Lowe, Mary Vivian Pierce, and Mink Stoll. A lot of special features on here, which is pretty awesome. If you're a fan of John Waters and particularly a fan of Desperate Living, you're eating good with these special features. You get a trailer, English subtitles, an essay, of course, and the cover based on original theatrical poster featuring photography from Peter Hujar. They just made a film about him, Peter Hujar's Day. Interesting. That's kind of a fascinating connection. And Criterion is releasing physically Peter Hujar's Day. Let's take a look at some of the stills here. If you know anything about John Waters' work, especially in the 70s, you'll sort of understand the grainy aesthetic and it's murky. They called this the trash trilogy for a reason, and it's certainly kind of giving off that vibe. Yeah, it's grimy, it's dirty. I'm sure what does that say? That's a nudists only. All right, so I mean that's giving us some indication of what to expect from this film. I guess this is that queen that was mentioned in the blurb. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna file this into the maybe not for me, but sort of an exotic curio that I will maybe take a look at some point whenever I have the time. Again, John Waters just like hasn't been for me, but maybe he is for you. Maybe this will sound interesting to you. This will become available on June 23rd from the Criterion Collection. Let's go see the next John Waters film that is coming to the collection. Okay, so in addition to John Waters' Desperate Living, we have Hairspray, which is coming to the collection for the first time with a 4K and Blu-ray release. I really love this cover art. It's really kind of giving me like poster for like a high school musical or something like that. I don't know. It really seems of its era, and it's got quite a cast. I mean, if you know about John Waters, you probably know Divine. It's got Sonny Bono in it, which I did not know, and Debbie Harry. I didn't know Debbie Harry was in, and Jerry Stiller. What? I didn't know Jerry Stiller was in Hairspray. I don't really know anything about Hairspray. I remember when the remake came out with John Travolta in it, and I never saw it. And this is just sort of a film and I think this is a musical, or maybe they made the musical after this film. So this film is not a musical, and then they made the stage version of the musical, and then they made the movie starring John Travolta. I think I have that right. Let me know down in the comments if I don't have that right. But anyway, for those of you who don't know anything about Hairspray, which includes me, let's go ahead and read the blurb. After decades of pushing the boundaries of bad taste with his underground provocations, John Waters found surprising mainstream success with this infectiously irreverent rock and soul comedy. It's 1962, and the only things bigger than the bouffant hairdos are the popular dance crazes sweeping the nation. When Baltimore teen Tracy Turnbull, played by Ricki Lake, shoots to stardom on her local TV dance party, her radical self-confidence and support for racial integration launches a movement that takes the city by storm. Co-starring the inimitable Divine in a fiercely funny double role, Hairspray finds Waters marrying his wildly subversive sensibility with a newfound bubblegum sweetness for what may be his most irresistible film. All right, you know what? I'm charmed. I think I might want to check this out. This sounds like something that's a little bit more accessible, something a little bit more mainstream, something that's more up my alley than, say, Desperate Living or Pink Flamingos, or some of his other films, that sort of trash trilogy that they alluded to in the last one. Let's see what you get in this 4K Blu-ray special edition. You get the 4K digital restoration approved by John Waters. You get audio commentary featuring John Waters and Ricki Lake. Interesting. I wonder if that's a new audio commentary or an old one. You get new conversation between John Waters and WFMU DJs Dave the Spaz Abramson and Gaylord Fields. I don't know who those people are. but I like their names. You get a new interview with Ricky Lake and actor Colleen Fitzpatrick, reflections from actors Debbie Harry, Joanne Havrilla, Leslie Ann Powers, Clayton Prince, Sean Thompson, and Pia Zadora. Deleted scenes, behind the scenes documentary, get to know John Waters. Again, John Waters fans are eating with these special edition, special features. This is awesome. Again, I wish I was more of a John Waters fan so I could be basking on all of this, but a lot of this means very little to me. Interview with production designer Vincent Peranio, trailer, English subtitles, and new cover from F. Ron Miller. Let's take a look at some of these stills down here so we can get a look. Oh, that's where that guy comes from on the other page. I'm loving the vibrancy of this. There's Debbie Harry. God, I love Debbie Harry. Falsies, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I love how colorful, and the word bubblegum comes up in somewhere in the blurb. It definitely has that sort of bubblegum feel. There's Jerry Stiller, rest in peace. Yeah, all right. I mean, this definitely has piqued my interest in a way that very few other John Waters films have. I am fascinated and very interested in checking this out. If only for Debbie Harry alone. I love Debbie Harry. So that's Hairspray. I hope that piqued your interest. If that does, if you're if you're a John Waters fan, you are eating good in June when these become available. This one becomes available June 23rd of this year. Let's go see what else is coming to the collection. Okay, 4 down and 5 to go. This next one is another one from last year that I heard about getting a lot of attention, and unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it. I don't really know that it was ever really released widely, or even if it got a limited release in the U.S. I didn't hear about it and I didn't go see it. But that is the film Magellan from the director Lav Diaz. So this film should not be confused with a regular Criterion release. This is part of what Criterion is doing called Criterion Premieres, which is where they essentially just give a physical release to a film without it being in the collection proper. I'm still a little bit lost on the whole concept there, why it isn't just part of the collection. I'm sure there's some reason, but down here it does say Criterion Premieres is a selection of new theatrical films presented on Blu-ray and DVD without a 4K release, released in association with the Criterion channel. So these films will also often have a premiere on the like a streaming premiere on the Criterion channel, and then they'll get a physical release in conjunction with that. So Magellan is a film from, it says down here, the Philippines, Portugal, and Spain from last year. Let's read a little bit about this. A hypnotic journey engraved in images of staggering beauty and horror, this monumental achievement from Lav Diaz boldly rewrites the imperialist myth-making of the Age of Discovery. Elegantly minimalist, yet overpowering in its scale and impact, Magellan follows the 16th century Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, played by Gael Garcia Bernal, as he embarks on his epochal quest to cross the Pacific, a voyage that spirals into zealotry and violence when he attempts to impose Christianity upon the people of the Philippines. Abetted by Garcia Bernal's radically anti-heroic portrayal, Diaz composes a stark vision of the brutality at the heart of European conquest and a haunting elegy for a lost pre-colonial past. So this sounds right up my alley. I love a film that is grand and epic, and this film clocks in at 163 minutes, so that's 2 hours and 43 minutes long. So I love an epic. I love the idea of talking about the sort of imperialist myth-making of the Age of Discovery. And Gael Garcia Bernal is just an incredible performer. I will watch anything with him in it. This release will come with a Meet the Filmmakers, Lav Diaz, a Criterion Channel original interview, a trailer, and some notes and stuff. So you're only getting a Blu-ray or a DVD of this, which you could pre-order now. I have seen stills from this from the last year when people were talking about it after some festivals and stuff, and it really it looks fascinating to me. Reminds me of something like maybe Terrence Malick's what is it, Brave New World? The New World? Something like that. That's kind of what this is reminding me of. So I'm definitely going to be checking this out at some point. I got to find the time to be able to sit down and watch a 2 hour and 43-minute movie, but this one has me excited, and I love all the Criterion premieres that they've done so far. So let's see what else is joining the collection. Okay, so we've got 4 to go. 2 of these I have seen and I like quite a bit. And I'm excited. They're the last 2 that we're going to get to. But first, we have two films that I have never heard of or seen before. Starting with this film called High Art from Lisa Cholodenko, filmmaker that I don't know about, a film that I don't know about. This was from 1998 from the United States. I don't know. This cover art is very, very intriguing to me. I don't know anything about this. So why don't we just go right ahead and read the blurb? In a revelatory performance, Ali Sheedy stars in writer-director Lisa Cholodenko's debut feature, a wry and incisive look at the politics of the New York art scene wrapped in the guise of an emotionally spiky queer romance. When Lucy Berliner, played by Ali Sheedy, a once prominent photographer who has retreated into a life of heroin abuse with her faded actress lover, Patricia Clarkson, is rediscovered by Sid, an up-and-coming editor at a photography magazine, professional ambition and personal attraction become dangerously entwined, stripping away art world glamour to tell a seductive yet troubling story of complicated human connection. High Art stands as an essential work of both queer and 1990s independent cinema. Good Lord, how have I never heard of this film? This is speaking my language to a T. Especially the idea of talking about the sort of politics of the New York art scene. I don't know if anyone out there has seen the film All the Beauty and the Bloodshed about Nan Goldin, but like her whole sort of deal in the art scene in the 80s with the AIDS epidemic and it just the intersection of sort of queer romance and queer storytelling and the New York art scene. All of it just, and especially photography. When it comes to photography, I'm a photographer as well. And anytime you get a film about photographers and this sort of like the New York art scene and queer cinema, it's all really just speaking my language. So I am 100% going to be checking this out. There is only a Blu-ray of this. We're not getting a 4K release, although it is a 4K restoration. This is just coming with a Blu-ray. Let's look at some of the special features we get on this Blu-ray. So we get audio commentary from 2004 featuring Cholodenko, again, who's a filmmaker I don't know much about. I'm gonna have to look into her other work. New conversation between Cholodenko and filmmaker Karen Kusama. New interviews with actors Ali Sheedy and Radha Mitchell and photographer Jojo Wilden. We get Dinner Party, a short film by Cholodenko, English subtitles and an essay. And new cover by Anthony Gerace, featuring photography by Jojo Wilden. And I really do love that cover. It really is, it says so much by saying so little. Let's take a look at some of the stills in here. There we get Patricia Clarkson, we get Ali Sheedy in the back there. And yeah, I mean, it's giving me a lot of sort of like All the Beauty and the Bloodshed vibes. That picture right there looks like it could have been taken by Nan Goldin. We get a Ali Sheedy holding a rangefinder. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe I've never heard of this. I can't believe I've never heard of this filmmaker. It's always wild to me. I mean, this didn't come out that long ago. It came out in 1998. I like to think that I'm pretty well informed when it comes to films of the 90s, especially films like this. But it just goes to show there's a whole vast sea of films out there and filmmakers and stories that need to be rediscovered and discovered for the first time by people like me, hopefully people like you. If you have seen High Art, please let me know down in the comments if it is one of your favorite films. If you think it's worthwhile, let me know. Let us all know down in the comments. Let's go see what else is joining the collection. Okay, we have 3 to go. I gotta say, this cover is intriguing to me. You can't see it yet. I don't know anything about this. I've never heard of the name of this movie before. I've never heard of the filmmaker. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it and show you all what I'm seeing. This is a film called West Indies: The Fugitive Slaves of Liberty from Med Hondo. This film comes from Mauritania, France, from 1979. And yeah, I don't know anything about this, but this cover is maybe one of the most intriguing covers of this entire June collection that's coming out, and of any cover that I've seen in recent memory. There's just so much to look at, so much little detail. This person standing right up front, this skull, the person on the throne, this white man with a business suit on with wings. I have no idea what's going on in here. This is a Blu-ray only release, and let's go ahead and read this blurb because I'm fascinated to find out what this is about. Mauritanian French firebrand Med Hondo puts colonialism itself on trial in this one-of-a-kind musical spectacular. Oh, it's a musical. Wow. A collective effort of unprecedented scale and ambition that proved a watershed event in African cinema. Aboard an enormous mock slave ship, Hondo stages a series of imaginative reenactments and intricately choreographed dance numbers that trace the devastating effects of French imperialism across centuries of enslavement and injustice. Beyond mere extravaganza, West Indies, the fugitive slaves of liberty, is a stirring call to Pan-African independence and a dazzling yet critical reconception of an entire people's history of oppression and rebellion. I mean, it sounds incredibly important. I'm just so fascinated. I didn't know that this was going to be a musical full of dance sequences and all this stuff. It is available to watch on the Criterion channel. And I gotta say, I'm probably gonna check this out within the next few months before June because that immediately grabbed my attention. So in this Blu-ray special edition, we get some special features, including a new interview with African cinema scholar whose name I'm probably going to butcher, but I'm going to try to say it anyway, and I apologize if I get this wrong. Abu Bakar Sonogo. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Program featuring archival interviews with director Med Hondo, excerpted archival interview with cinematographer Francois Catone. We get trailer, essays by film programmer Ashley Clark, and this cover by Chris Visions. Great name, by the way, but also even greater cover art design. I gotta say, I love this cover art, and I would love to just have that in my collection. Let's see what this film looks like down below. So we get this big ship here that they talked about. Oh boy. There's the man in the business suit from the cover. We got this feast right here with these chairs. I have no idea what's going on here. I love the design of this. It's I don't know what it's making me think of, but there are other sort of musicals that are kind of like that take the sort of theatricality of cinema and make it more like stage. I'm thinking of something like Dogville or something like that, or that Lars von Trier movie where it's like all set on a stage, or like Our Town or something like that. Looking really fascinating. I'm gonna watch the trailer whenever I'm done with this. Don't love whatever this guy's doing. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm into it. I'm gonna check this out again. It is on the Criterion channel right now for you to watch if you have a subscription to the Criterion channel. This is West Indies, The Fugitive Slaves of Liberty. I'm gonna be checking this out pretty soon and possibly picking this up June 9th when this becomes available. Let's see what else. These next two films are in the collection already. They are just upgraded versions, but let's go see what they are. So up next, we have a film from a filmmaker that I absolutely adore, and I think that more people need to talk about. Kind of like one of those visionaries that came up in this era of a lot of visionaries getting their flowers, and this one maybe not getting his flowers so much in the 21st century. I'm of course talking about Stanley Donen's Charade. This is a film that I gotta say I didn't love when I watched it, but I really admired a lot of it. So this is a film that is already available on Blu-ray and DVD, but now we are getting a 4K upgrade of it. So important to note that some of you may already own this. This is spine number 57. This was an early spine number. If you don't know anything about Charade, I urge you to watch it. It is a fun time at the movies, but let's read the blurb for anyone who doesn't know. In this comedic thriller, a trio of crooks relentlessly pursue a young American played by Audrey Hepburn through Paris in an attempt to recover the fortune her dead husband stole from them. The only person she could trust is Cary Grant's suave, mysterious stranger. Director Stanley Donen goes deliciously dark for Charade, a glittering emblem of 1960s style and macabre wit. Again, Stanley Donen is one of those filmmakers that I just adore. If you don't know, Stanley Donen directed Singing in the Rain, which is one of the greatest movie musicals ever made, and needs to be talked about more. And sometimes people just seem to forget that Stanley Donen was this sort of tour de force filmmaker for so many years. And Charade is another one of his classics. It's got Cary Grant. I've been watching a lot of Cary Grant recently. I'm taking a class right now on the work of Alfred Hitchcock. I just watched Notorious recently with Cary Grant in it. We're going to get to North by Northwest. But yeah, Cary Grant is great. And Audrey Hepburn, I wasn't too thrilled with her performance in this film. And it's funny that it says that the only person she could trust is Cary Grant's suave, mysterious stranger. part of the intrigue of the film is it's like, can she trust him? So it's like, I don't know. I don't really know why they put that in the copy there, because it's like maybe she can't trust him because maybe he's in on this whole scheme to get her dead husband's riches. But anyway, in this 4K Blu-ray special edition, we get some special features. Like we get this UK 4K UHD disc. We get audio commentary from 1999 featuring director Stanley Donen and screenwriter Peter Stone. We had a trailer, English subtitles. We don't get a whole lot. I guess, yeah, there's really not much difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K, which is interesting. I mean, this is such a beloved film. A lot of people know it. I think I have it on DVD behind me. There was a remake of this film, if you didn't know, just before we get to the images, a film called The Truth About Charlie, directed by Jonathan Demme, starring Tandy Newton, Mark Wahlberg is in it, and Tim Robbins is in it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I wanted to rewatch it after watching Charade last year. I didn't get around to it, but maybe check that out. Maybe that's due for reappraisal. But anyway, yeah, you can see the colorful cinematography. Stanley Donen, I feel like it was one of the best filmmakers doing that sort of colorful, vibrant Technicolor look. One of those films that you should check out is the film Arabesque, starring Gregory Peck and Sophia Loren. Also really, really good. And Walter Matthau, yeah, I forgot Walter Matthau was in this as well. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more else to say about this. I wasn't thrilled upon first watch, but maybe it's worth a rewatch, and it is pretty stunning. The camera work is great. Stanley Donen is just one of those undersung filmmakers, in my opinion. All right, and last but not least, we got another film that is already in the collection. So this film is part of a box set that I actually have behind me right here. I've talked about it on the channel. It is called Lost in America, the BBS story. And what that is the sort of films made by BBS Productions. What we have here is a 4K upgrade of the film, 5 Easy Pieces, directed by Bob Rafelson. And this was a film that I wanted to love so badly, but ultimately ended up just liking a lot. And maybe I'll talk about a little bit more about that. But yeah, you can get this on Blu-ray and DVD, so we are getting a 4K restoration of this. This is spine number 546 from 1970. Bob Rafelson is one of the Bs in BBS, and the other names are escaping me right now. But in that sort of box set, you get a lot of other films. We can actually just take a look at it. You get films like Head, Easy Rider, 5 Easy Pieces, A Safe Place, Drive, He Said, The Last Picture Show, and The King of Marvin Gardens. I like a lot of these films. 5 Easy Pieces I like a lot. Is one of the better ones within this collection, but really is one of the films that put Jack Nicholson on the map. It was part of this whole counterculture movement that was sort of going on with BBS. But let's read what this is about for anyone who doesn't know. Following Jack Nicholson's breakout supporting turn in Easy Rider, director Bob Rafelson devised a powerful leading role for the new star. In the searing character study 5 Easy Pieces, Nicholson plays the now iconic cad Bobby Dupia, a shiftless 30-something oil rigger and former piano prodigy immune to any sense of responsibility who returns to his upper-middle-class childhood home, blue-collar girlfriend Karen Black in an Oscar-nominated role, in tow to see his estranged, ailing father. Moving in its simplicity and gritty in its textures, 5 Easy Pieces is a lasting example of the early 70s American alienation. And I gotta say, I agree with a lot of that stuff. Again, this movie just moves at a bit more of a languid pace than I think I was expecting it to. The performances have that tendency to do that thing where there's a little bit of overacting, but there is a scene near the end of this, I won't spoil, involving Jack Nicholson and his father. That really just goes on to prove why Jack Nicholson is one of the greatest actors to ever do it. And Karen Black in this was nominated, and she's also incredible in this as kind of maybe the most annoying on-screen girlfriend that you could imagine. Yeah, there are aspects of this film that I like a lot. I think the final stretch of this movie is the best part of it, and I just feel like not enough time is devoted to that final stretch, and too much is devoted to the sort of road movie aspect of getting to it. Anyway, this isn't really meant to be my review of this film. It is definitely worth a watch, and is an interesting little history lesson into that sort of counterculture, early 70s, late 60s boon of independent cinema becoming what independent cinema would ultimately become. In this 4K restoration, we get audio commentary by director Bob Rafelson and interior designer Toby Rafelson. Soul Searching in 5 Easy Pieces, a 2009 program featuring Bob Rafelson. BBS Story, a documentary about the legendary film company BBS Productions, which I believe is in that box set as well. I recommend getting the box set because the box set has some really, really wonderful films. I feel like that box set is worth the price of admission for The Last Picture Show alone. The Last Picture Show, I think, is one of the best movies of the 20th century. And within that box set, you will get a Blu-ray of that and much more. You get a documentary featuring critic David Thompson and historian Douglas Brinkley, audio excerpts from 1976 AFI interview with Rafelson, trailers and teasers, English subtitles, essay by Kent Jones, and the cover, which is, I believe, the main cover for all the others by F. Ron Miller. Let's take a look down below and look at some of the stills from this. There's Karen Black doing her Karen Black thing, getting nominated for an Oscar. This scene in particular in the diner is one I feel like comes up all the time. A lot of people point to it as being like, this is what movies used to be or whatever. For some reason, it's a good scene. It's just a little bit, it's part of what I'm talking about when I mentioned like this sort of overacting that sometimes comes out of a lot of these films. I'm not too crazy about this scene. It's a little bit much, in my opinion. Oh, this was the scene I was talking about before with Jack Nicholson and his dad. It really is. It really tugs at the heartstrings. And this whole sequence, this takes place at his childhood home when he returns home to visit his father. And I just think that whole sequence is so wonderful. And this is another iconic moment of Jack Nicholson hopping up on the back of this car and playing the piano back here. Yeah, so it's an iconic film, definitely one worth checking out for the historical context and the performances alone. Not one that really struck me as incredibly memorable, but that definitely doesn't mean that it isn't worth your time, and you could pick it up for yourself in 4K on June 2nd, or you can pick it up on Blu-ray or DVD right now. So that's going to do it for the films announced to be in the Criterion Collection in June of 2026. Let's just run through them one more time because I feel like it's been a while since we were at number one. There was a lot in this dump. We get the Eclipse Series 6 Carlos Saura's Flamenco trilogy. We get Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident. Two John Waters films with Desperate Living and Hairspray. We get Lav Diaz's Magellan as a Criterion premiere. We get Lisa Cholodenko's High Art. We get Med Hondo's West Indies, The Fugitive Slaves of Liberty. We get Stanley Donen's Charade coming to 4K, and Bob Rafelson's 5 Easy Pieces also coming to 4K, getting an upgrade there. And while I have this page up here, don't forget about Lenny coming in May. I'm desperately urging everyone to watch Lenny and for it to get an entire reappraisal and for more people to talk about Lenny because it's one of my favorite films of all time. Anyway, that's not part of this video, but yeah, so great collection. The ones I'm looking forward to the most are probably High Art, West Indies, and I'm desperately interested in checking out It Was Just an Accident. I really wish I had a chance to watch it before the Oscars last night, but I just didn't get to it. But yeah, really, really great collection. Let me know down in the comments which ones you were looking forward to the most, which ones you're already pre-ordering. Which one of these maybe I should be looking forward to that I haven't seen yet. If you have seen Desperate Living or Hairspray or Magellan or High Art or West Indies, let me know which ones you think I should check out. Maybe before June, which ones will maybe inspire me to pick them up. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Do all the normal things, like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when new videos come out on this channel. We do this every single month where I run through the titles that are announced by Criterion as coming to the channel or coming to the collection. When you're done doing all that, don't forget to follow me over on Letterboxd so you can see what I'm watching when I'm watching it. And then when you're done with that, check out my podcast where I talk to people about movies who love movies. And if you want to be a guest on that show, go ahead and send an email down to this email down below and say, hey, I'm interested in being on your show, and we will get the ball rolling and make that happen. Life is a little bit chaotic, so the podcast is slowing down a little bit, but I am interested in getting it back up and running again. Anyway, that's going to do it for me. I got to get something for my voice. I've been doing a lot of talking. I will see you all next time.